to begin.
Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Social Primal Podcast. If this is your first time tuning into the show, I just want to give you a big thank you. Thank you for taking the chance. Thank you for letting me entertain or allow some sort of engagement between you and my guest or the community. Whatever it may be, thank you for taking the chance on it, because we all know time is valuable. We all know that it's hard sometimes to try new things because we don't want it to feel like a waste of time, etc., etc. But that's what life is. Let's just experience. Let's experiment with it. Let's try things out 1, 2, 3 times until we figure out that it's not for us, or if it is. And I hope that's the same thing with this podcast. So thank you. I hope you guys continue to grow alongside me, and I hope you continue to support the next million episodes that I do here. With that being said, let's get back to business. Today, my guest is Jose Vasquez. For those of you who have been around for a while, for those of you who have been listening to the show, this will mark his third appearance, and it's always a great one. I love catching up with him. He's a great person all around, and it's so fun just to have a conversation where I can just go fanboy. Like, I can just go crazy. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to ask. It's just about me and my guests just having a great time, just discussing things that we love. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. I'm going to keep that short, and we're going to move on. So people, just keep in mind, we're talking about MCU movies here, anything that has to do with superhero stuff, comic, pop culture. So if you haven't caught yourself up with any of these things, I'll refrain from listening to this because you may get a lot of spoilers. But if you're into that kind of stuff, let's just go. Let's just go with it, and let's fanboy together. And now, last but not least, today's music is brought to you by Moon Visions with their song Evening Euphoria. You can find them on Spotify. You can find them on YouTube. Basically, on any platform that you consume media from, you can find them. So why not take a chance, like you did with the show? Go check them out, show some support, and do your thing. With that being said, you guys have a great rest of the week. Stay tuned, stay cool. See you soon. Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we have the great return of Jose Vasquez. Dude, thank you for making the time.
My pleasure. I know we were trying to work this out, trying to do it earlier last month, and I'm glad. Thank you for bringing me back.
I get excited because, after I like catching up with you first and foremost, because to be able to sit down in a podcast and have a go at it with the homie, it's cool, and I love your perspective on all this stuff. I know people are like, man, these fucking nerds, so what?
The thing is now, like nerd culture and all this stuff is now part of pop culture. There's people that are making clothes off of comics, anime, video games, all this stuff. And you have also the music. You have people rappers talking about different characters and comics and anime into the lyrics. Wu-Tang talks about lyrics about Spider-Man or the X-Men in it, and rappers too. You have who else, Frank Ocean talking about Dragon Ball Z. You have Josh Gardner talking about anime too. So it's intertwined now. It's
what's awesome, I've seen a huge increase in people who watch anime too. I think because Netflix helped, Crunchyroll. Netflix has been one of the ones that has adapted it more. They're making their own originals, I think, at this point. So I love seeing just the anime artwork among the crowd. Every now and then, you're like, holy shit.
And then now, in about next month, they'll have the live action Cowboy Bebop series.
Oh, that's right, with fucking Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. So it's just bananas. I remember, I think last week they did their own little convention thing for Netflix, talking about next projects, next movies, and they showed the teaser for Cowboy Bebop, but they pretty much mirror image the anime intro almost to a T. And I saw, I was like, I got kind of goosebumps. He's like, man, they had like the same music, but it's doing the same movements in the opener, and I'm like, oh, it looks really good. But now I'm waiting for like an actual trailer to see, how this goes.
Dude, no, it looks pretty cool. I saw the suit, like he looks just like the character, like straight out of the fucking cartoon or the anime.
The hair too and everything, it was perfect.
Yeah, because like how when they adapt stuff, sometimes it's not for the best.
Oh yeah, there's been a few, like Avatar: Last Airbender, there's like the perfect example. Like, how can you get the main character's name wrong?
What movie was actually kind of cool, but it got a lot of hate was Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
I think because like if people don't like it so much, it's because like they cast Scarlett Johansson to play the main character.
Yeah,
I think they cast like a Asian actress to play the character. That I think people would have been like much like fine with it.
For sure, I got a lot of hate because of that. But I mean, it still didn't make it not a cool movie, at least in my books. It's, of course, you still want to be correctly represented, but at the end of the day, it's like, man, I'm seeing these action sequences. They're like doing it pretty close, to the heart to an extent. It's like, dude, it's still cool,
Yeah, it is.
Which goes to say again that there's certain things, certain iterations or adaptations of these mediums that don't get translated correctly into live action. So that's why a lot of people are like kind of hesitant to do it.
Yeah, especially when they announced Cowboy Bebop, people were like, because it's like the classic anime. It's the anime you introduce people to watch to get into anime, and it's just like people don't want to like it messing up or like just having liberties, because Netflix has done that a little bit, like kind of messing up the anime like Death Note, and it's just like off the rails. The only good thing was Willem Dafoe playing Rook, the Shinigami. So that was the only that's to me that was the only perfect like good thing about that movie.
I didn't even get to see it because I heard it was bad, and I was just like, I don't want to taint my,
Just watch it for Willem Dafoe. Just like, or just go to YouTube, watch like Death Note. Just watch his parts. Yeah, you're good.
With some of the movies that have been coming out, like I know you mentioned like if I was caught up with What If, the Marvel show, and dude, I've been thinking about the last episode. I'm sorry, people, we're gonna spoil some stuff here, but the last episode, it was Vision or Ultron basically finishing his fucking dream when we were watching Age of Ultron, and it was just use Vision's body as his vessel to fucking conquer.
It was just crazy. Me and my girlfriend loved the show. We love pretty much all the episodes, and then this episode we watched, it was just bananas. Just seeing, like pretty much like his first plan working, because like in Age of Ultron, the first plan didn't work. Since Jarvis hacked like the nuclear code, so you couldn't use the nuclear code, so you went to plan B to make a giant bomb off of Sokovia.
Yeah, dude, and in this case he fucking succeeded, and he got the Infinity Stones. That dude, when he killed, I mean, again, people, spoilers, but when he shredded fucking Thanos in half, I was like, what the fuck?
I was getting ready for like an awesome fight. Like Thanos has all the Infinity Stones, and like, oh, Ultron has one and it has a vibranium body, but that's gonna be awesome. Nope, just like shrimp.
Oh, casual, like, I was like, oh my god. And honestly, that's why that episode in itself has been kind of lingering the last few days. Just I keep thinking of that. I visualize that scene, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's kind of scary, dude. Like, he has ultimate power. He has the Infinity Stones. He's already conquered the first universe, and then out of nowhere, he's like, oh, there's more. Oh fuck, that shit just tripped me out.
The thing about that episode I love is like pretty much the reaction to the Watcher. Like just him narrating what's going on and having Ultron like, wait, who's talking right now? And like, oh wait, I see you, and have the Watcher just freak out about it, because like the Watcher in the comics this is pretty much not ultimate being, but like a godlike being. He doesn't like interfere with like anything, but in the comics he does interfere. But it's just crazy just how his reaction, like, wait, this is not supposed to happen at all. I can see the past, present, and whoever comes in the future, and this is like brand new to me.
Yeah, I think that's what gave that episode like suspense, because it was like like you said, it's not supposed to happen, and for him to be freaking out about a possibility, and then at some point during towards the end, he breaks through that barrier, and he's like, oh fuck, he's all like,
now I have to intervene. Now I have to save the entire multiverse. Now I have to intervene and show my true powers, and like still get swept from Ultron.
Dude, I think a lot of the episodes, they've been great. There's probably like two The Thor one, I wasn't a big fan of. That one was just a little too weird for me. But it was still cool. It was entertaining, you know. And then the zombie one, there was Zombie Avengers and Zombie Thanos. But at some point, I was like, man, Spider-Man's not even using his real powers. Like he was half-assing his powers the whole time, and I'm like, dude, you're Spider-Man. You know, you got. I think he was struggling to do something. I was like, dude, you got super strength. Like, why are you struggling, dude? But I mean,
yeah, I like that episode too. And then I think they're lingering on. If they do, I'm sure they approve for a second season. I'm sure they're gonna bring back the continuation of that episode, because you have like T'Challa, Spidey, and Scott Lang heading to Wakanda, and you have Thanos pretty much taking over Wakanda, and then all the citizens are all zombies, and they're heading towards it with the Mind Stone.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think at least for the finale, they were trying to bring back, which I think comes out tomorrow. No, it's on Wednesday or tonight.
Tonight, midnight, I guess it comes out.
Yeah.
There's been theories that people are wondering that probably the Watcher is going to assemble his own Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have so you can pretty much pluck them out from different multiverses. So you can go to the zombie universe, pluck the Mind Stone from Peter, and then go to what Earth Captain Carter is, and then go to see Doctor Strange, and he already has the Time Stone. So there he just has to figure out the reality and Soul Stone, and then there you go. He can assemble his own Infinite Gauntlet. I
like the dark approach that they've been taking with this, because it gives them more liberty to do more things, to play around. But I think that's something that you normally don't see in the MCU movies. That seeing it there, you're like, even like the Doctor Strange episode, like, what if Doctor Strange didn't lose his hands but lost his heart? And then he's just trying to revive his girl, like, back to back, and it's just death, and just breaking him down,
Her death is like a fixed point in his reality. It reminds. I remember watching that episode with my girlfriend, and I was hearing, this reminds you of like the Time Machine movie with Guy Pearce. I don't know if you remember that. It's like he's literally they built a time machine, and they're trying to save his wife over and over. But each time, it's like she has to die. Keep moving on.
Oh, that's fucking hardcore, man. That was definitely, I think that was one of the first Stargate episodes that I was like, holy shit, like, I love what they're doing. It's like DC Dark, but with the Marvel characters, and I was like, they gotta do this with movies.
Yeah, eventually, I'm sure later on, like, Disney has to realize, like we can't just rely on like the PG-13 rating to get more audience in. Oh, we have to like venture out and do or at least an R-rated movie. Because look what Logan, Deadpool, and Joker, all of them made huge success for make it rated R.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna handle Deadpool 3, because from what I heard, it's supposed to be at 2023, 2024, but Fox, or at least that segment of Fox, is owned by Disney now, but they don't do fucking rated R movies for now.
Well, unless they do, because once with, I think Deadpool 2, they released a PG-13 version.
You're right.
They can do two versions, have a rated R one and then have a PG-13 one.
Dude, I can't wait to see how that crosses over. Which brings me up to this next point. This whole Phase 4 has been about exploring the multiverse. Right after Endgame, after they fucking opened Pandora's box, now it's being affixated to different timelines and how things are working in different worlds. And one of them was Loki. Loki, I don't know did you get to see the whole thing?
Me and my girlfriend saw the entire thing. We were amazed by it. I was just shocked, bringing Kang the Conqueror, another iconic character, into this universe. And then I think now he's going to be the big bad for going through Phase 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit blew my mind too. At the end of the last episode, I was like, holy shit.
And the actor plays Kang the Conqueror. Yeah, his charisma and his attitude just sold it to me. He seems a cheerful guy, but in reality he's the biggest threat of all time. And him just mentioning you thought I was bad, wait till my other variants come in and they're gonna be 20 times worse than I am. Dude. And just have Loki come back to TVA just shook and scared and telling you something evil's coming, we have to prepare, we have to figure it out, and then it's too late. You have Kang the Conqueror controlling the TVA.
Yeah, I hopefully that becomes more they apply it more, of course, as the Phase 4 continues, because right now they're only up to I honestly the last big bad, at least from, because Black Widow was in the middle of the MCU. It was kind of what, Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, so it's right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And then what was the next one? Shang-Chi. That one's like, I guess, the first Marvel Disney MCU, because Spider-Man was a Sony one. It's still kind of MCU related though, but
yeah, it's still in the mix. Yeah. So pretty much, so after Shang-Chi will be the Eternals.
Eternals, yep.
I think Shang-Chi and the Eternals are, I think, the same time frame, because they mentioned the blip. Thanos snapped his fingers and they brought everyone back. So the Eternals will take pretty much, I think we'll deep dive more of what's going on in the Marvel Universe, like, well, the cosmic side of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, and then I think what's it called? Spider-Man comes out this December, I think. No, this Christmas season, and then fucking Doctor Strange, fucking Madness of the Multiverse. Have you? Okay, I don't know. I think I already asked you, and I think you said no, but you still haven't seen Venom, right?
No, I haven't seen Venom yet. Not yet.
Fuck, Jesus Christ!
I've been hearing I've been hearing like, oh, it's like, it's great, it's good, it's okay, it's bad, it's like what garbage. Yeah. And I seen the first one, and the first one isn't the greatest movie. It's like a 90s comic book movie. Just like, think of like Spawn, but just a little better than Spawn in the 90s.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, the second one is kind of similar to the first one. I mean, for sure, it looks like they up the comedic level on it, but the action sequences are pretty matched up. Again, it's not like, I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck, it's a perfect movie, go watch it. But it was a great movie. It was a good summer end to the summer flick, type of thing. That's what it is. But oh man, I'm so okay. You don't spoil things for yourself, do you?
I just try to avoid it. I don't want to know what's going on. I know, but it's because it's funny, because all these reviews about that movie, it's like, yeah, the action's great, like the chemistry between Venom and Eddie is it's perfect, and then the other stuff's like whatever. But like the post-credits scene was like it's gonna like best thing ever.
Yeah, god damn it! I'm pretty sure you even probably know what it is already. Like, you have an idea in your own head.
Well, I don't know. I'm just excited and to see the film, because like I like Venom. It's great. He's a great character in the comics. Carnage is also awesome too. Like, I like just like, oh, you thought like, oh, there's Spider-Man, he has a black suit symbiote, like, oh, cool. And then oh, you thought like, oh, then you have Venom, like pretty much a badder version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then you have like, oh, you have like Carnage, just psychopath. Well, Cletus Cassidy, already a psychopath, like crazy as it is. And they all just let's give him like the symbiote, and then 10, 20 times crazier.
I think Woody Harrelson did a great job with it. For sure, but because it's a PG-13 movie, they're obviously very limited in terms of what they can show. Carnage is just brutal. Like, everything he did, not spoiling anything, but everything that happened in the movie, it could have been amplified if they had shown blood.
I'm pretty sure there's I'm sure there's going to be like a director's cut for that movie, like a unrated version of that movie. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I hope so, because we adults, we need the blood. Like, it's just like Logan, when I saw Logan, like, I've always been a fan of Wolverine. I've always loved the guy. The movies, Hugh Jackman was great. I watched all of them, but it wasn't until Logan that you actually saw the ferocity of who Wolverine really is in the comic books. Even in the comic books, it's kind of clean, but you know what fucking adamantium claws are gonna do to a human? They're gonna fucking slice right through you. And Logan just captured the aggressiveness, and I think that's why he did so well, because it's a character that people love. It's a people that people have grown up with in the last decade plus, and to see him in his full like, yeah,
it's like, I remember watching the first X-Men movie when I was, I think like middle school. When I think like 2000 and actually before middle school, it came out like 2000. The first X-Men movie, and then just seeing like Wolverine pull out the claws, like awesome, and like just hoping he'll get that berserker rage, and then you get a little bit in X-Men 2 when he fights the goons inside the school, and then that finally seeing him in Logan like full on berserker rage.
I forgot who said it. Oh, I think it was the director of Joker. I forgot his name right now, but he did the Hangover movies. But he was saying like people were like, oh well, you kept kind of like the violence. It was powerful, but it was very little. But he goes like that's kind of like the point. Like, you want to show these moments where like this person, like at least where they're going psycho, it's meaningful, if that makes any sense. Like, they want to make sure that you're impacted by that shot. So that's why at the end when Joker's like, you know what? to fucking Robert De Niro's character?
What do you get? Like, it's a side loner. I just this feel, and like I like that was just like I was like shocked myself, like whoa, that's insane.
It was a shock scene, and you're just like, oh shit. But that was what made it so powerful. And again, it was just a build up to that moment. As short as it was just he just snapped and he's like, man. But again, this is movies that are allowing those characters to develop long enough. Which again, MCU is I love the MCU, but unless they're doing like or single character stories, kind of like Shang-Chi, it's kind of hard to just throw characters in there and have people like immediately know who they are, you know, and try to get attached to them.
And like when like they announced Shang-Chi, I was like, oh man, like I don't know if it's gonna work because like not a lot of people know about him unless you're like a hardcore comic book fan and you know who he is and what does he do and what's his relationship to the comics. Then go for it. And then people ask me like, oh, you think this one's gonna be good? And like, well, let me tell you, like they made a movie about a talking raccoon and a talking tree, and it's like probably one of the number 6, number 10 like highest Marvel movie. Yeah. So I'm sure Shang-Chi will be fine. And then now it was like it's like for about like 3 weeks or like for about a month it was like number 1 in the box office. Yeah,
it was like this movie that just came out of the like left field and it hit, you know. I don't know if you noticed that there's gonna be or heard that there's gonna be a Super Mario movie, and like they have like this crazy cast of like fucking A-list celebrities, and you're like, what the? And you know, Mario games are just like me and Mario.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just trying to figure out like how is it in like dialogue. You know, the other like live action movie, it's like one with drawing a blank now with the actors' names, but we had a live action Mario movie back in the 90s. The end was terrible. Bad. And then you had like a Mario TV show, and that was like the only 2 live action versions of Mario. This is going to be animated, so I don't know what's going to be. I'm down to watch it.
Yeah, it's funny because like how when Sonic came out. You know how they presented the shitty looking rodent Sonic?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? You know, and obviously people were like, hey, no, this is not Sonic. And they tuned them up and stuff.
That's the power of like, of the fans. People like, you know, this is messed up, man. And they forced a studio to redesign Sonic. Yeah. And then boom, now they're getting a sequel. They're adding Knuckles and Tails. And I'm pretty sure Jim Carrey's going to come back as Eggman.
Oh, yeah, no, I think he did sign up for it. I was reading that they're going to go for it.
Yeah, and then I like the fact once they announced the Mario movie, people were like making ideas like, oh, we're going to have a Smash Brothers movie coming up since we already have Pikachu. We have like Sonic, and then we have Mario.
Oh, my God. Hey, actually pretty cool. Like some fucking... Yeah, it's like Super Smash Brothers. Bunch of characters coming right. It's the next Infinity War like crossover.
That's the next Marvel. That's the next Avengers movie. You have like all like Nintendo characters.
Yeah, I mean, because low-key, I think that's what some studios are trying to reproduce. You know, like I think at some point a few years ago, I think Universal was trying to do like the horrorverse, like the monsterverse.
Oh yes.
And they canceled it. And I was like, I mean, it could have had potential, you know. But
yeah, they had an amazing like cast of actors to do this. You had Angelina Jolie playing like the Bride of Frankenstein. You had Johnny Depp playing the Invisible Man. You had Benicio del Toro playing. Well, no, I'm thinking. Who am I thinking? Javier Bardem. Never mind. Javier Bardem playing, I think Frankenstein or another monster, another creature. So I just like, oh no! After the movie came out, boom, nothing was gone. Oh, and then Russell Crowe playing Mr. Hyde, Mr. Jekyll.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, of course, I'm sure they had their reasons. You know, their movies probably were not doing so great. But, you know, the idea is that most of them are trying to they're basically trying to make a Marvel universe of their own, you know?
Like Harry Potter did it, and then Fast and Furious is going to do 2 more. Jurassic Park is in that category as well. Star Wars. But I think for Star Wars, I think just stick it with, like, the miniseries. Just do the shows, because it's amazing. Like, The Mandalorian is... I got emotional watching the second season. She's probably my girlfriend was there, and, like, I was just crying, seeing Luke. And like just having like Darren Jar just take off his helmet. I'm like, oh my God, like why am I getting all emotional?
Oh, stupid Grogu.
Like, you know?
Yeah. Every scene he came out and I was like, oh my God, he's so fucking adorable. And he's just like, ah. Yeah, but I agree with the shows on the Star Wars, because I mean, from what I've been reading is that they're trying to retcon the last trilogy somehow. Like they're trying to find ways of...
Yeah, and then like And the way they're kind of doing, like, just someone like explain it, like, oh, they're solely doing it without you knowing, because they have like the shows are kind of making pretty much branching off from like episode 6, and like, oh, this is how it should go. And you have like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and then George Lucas, all three in the mix, just to write these stories and just do these like miniseries.
Yeah, you know, because after the last movie, they stopped pushing anything with Kylo or with like Rey. You could tell. I mean, if you're paying attention, you can tell. Like, they're branching onto different shows, like the Bad Batch. It's a pretty good show. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I like it. It's moving away from the Skywalker saga stuff.
Because you find out what happens after Revenge of the Sith, what happens to like Order 66, what happens to the clones. Like, do they still work for the Empire, or do they just like discharge them and stuff like that? And you see it in Bad Batch, you see them like, or like some of the clones like, what's going on here? What are we doing this? We can't do this. So this doesn't sound right. And then you see them slowly transitioning to like regular people, or like people to enlist for the Empire and have stormtroopers.
Yeah, hopefully they don't. I think supposedly, I don't know if this one got canceled, but I think they put all movies on hold or something.
Yeah, because like the shows are amazing as it is, and it's like doesn't cost as much as filming a movie. It's like, oh, we can do everything in set, and then they have that awesome like tracking.
Yeah. Like
what is it called? It's like a 360 kind of thing that has like the footage of like deserts, whatever, and they could just like kind of 360 the camera around. So they could do that, and then by the end of December we get a Boba Fett show. Then Mando's gonna come back in it for a few episodes or something. So that's gonna be awesome as well.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to get Sebastian Stan to come out as like a younger, like a middle-aged Luke or something. No,
I seen photos. I seen like people's comparisons, like Sebastian Stan, and then look like do it with like Mark Hamill, and they kind of like fuse together. And like, it's perfect.
They could definitely get away with it. And it'll be cool. Oh, and there's the Ewan McGregor fucking
the Obi-Wan show.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for that show, man.
I'm like super hyped because like all throughout the prequels, I know like some like they're pretty bad, but like, the only good concept thing about it is like the lightsaber fights and Ewan McGregor as like Obi-Wan. He's been like the perfect casting to play Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, and he's the perfect age right now too to be like that.
You seeing recent interviews, he's like growing out the beard a little bit. It's getting like a little white in the middle. Like, oh, he's gonna become old Ben. Like just wandering around Tatooine, watching over Luke, and like I'm sure he's gonna interfere with like the Empire for a bit. And they're bringing the actor that played Anakin.
Oh shit, that's right. Like the teen version of Anakin, no?
Yeah, well, yeah. So he's coming back to play Darth Vader. Like, oh, it's phenomenal.
Oh, damn, he's gonna be all burnt.
I'm just hyped. Like everything's going on for Star Wars. So I think just focus on just doing shows and like little like mini series instead of the movies. And later on, like, all right, we have a good idea for a movie, and let's do it. For
sure, it looked like they were trying to push a Star Wars movie like every year with the Solo. I wasn't a big fan of Solo. Like I love Chewie and like they're cool. They're like OGs. But the movies I did not really like. Like I thought it was a little unnecessary.
It's funny, like when I watched it in theaters, I was like, it's not great. But I remember, like, I think I turned on Disney Plus, like, it's not that bad. Like, just have it on. It's not that bad. It's all right.
Which is what I'm hoping with Black Widow, because when I saw Black Widow and seeing that, Black Widow, one of the last MCU movies for her, at least, because her character died in Endgame, it's like, okay, like, you expect it to be cool. But, like, the whole Taskmaster stuff, I don't know. It felt too streamlined. Like, it was just, like, let's just finish this storyline so we can get over Black Widow and move to the next thing.
Because, like, for me, like, because I saw it, like, I enjoyed it. It was like, there's some points, like, I agree with Taskmaster. Because in the comics, Taskmaster talks. That's what he does. He taunts and he talks to his, like, opponents. And that's where, like, that's what I was lacking. Like, oh, I want him, like, whoever was playing him, like that, it didn't matter. It was I forgot her name, the bad guy's daughter. I didn't really care. It's a woman playing Tessa. I just want her to talk or taunt, Natasha, or taunt like anybody to like when they fight, because that's what he does. That's what he just taunts people.
Yeah, they're supposed to be able to go toe to toe in terms of fighting, and I felt like it was just a wasted villain. So I'm hoping they kind of like do something like they did with the Mandarin and Iron Man 2. Where they, when in Shang-Chi, they build on the whole, like, oh, he's an actor thing,
Yeah.
And there's a real Taskmaster somewhere, like, just he was waiting to go with everybody.
But with like back to Black Widow, but I think like just that movie, it felt like to me that movie could have come out maybe a year ago or even like 2 years ago. I felt like the after Civil War kind of wait till like the next like big movie whatever at the time and just put Black Widow on that slate, and it kind of fell in the gap. Like okay, and then after Black Widow you have Infinity War because it tied in right in the end. Infinity War when she goes to the Quinjet, she got that cut hair, the haircut, and like and then like her outfit and everything, and there you go. I just like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of cool. That's nice, but I wish this would have been maybe 2 years ago. No,
it's true because I mean, like you said, it would have just made more sense storyline wise, and then maybe her death, which was already impactful in Endgame, it would have been even more like, holy shit! Like we know what she went through, and now she's done.
I don't know if you've seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, I did.
I don't remember that that lady that came in to like kind of protect John Walker.
Yeah, the one who plays Elaine on Seinfeld.
Yeah, so in the comics, she's like kind of like a double agent for like Shield and Hydra, and then some comics she's like Nick Fury's kind of right hand man. And so my theory, I'm thinking like she's been popping up in these Falcon and Winter Soldier and the Black Widow movie, the very end post-credit scene. So I'm thinking she's primarily assembling her own Avengers team.
Okay, like a secret ops type of thing.
Oh yeah, which they're called the Thunderbolts. So they're pretty much kind of like Marvel's equivalent to the Suicide Squad. So they're in the group. You have Baron Zemo. You have a very just roster of like villains in this group, but now it looks like to me that she's forming her own like a Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts team. Since she has John Walker, so she has her Captain America. You have Baron Zemo, so she can just convince him to like, hey, work for me. We'll like reduce your sentence, whatever. So you have Baron Zemo. You have Elena as her Black Widow, and then she just needs like a Hulk, Iron Man, and like a Thor type character for her roster. But she already has Abomination because Abomination came out in Shang-Chi.
Oh, you're right.
And he's still in the raft. He's still locked up. Since I was freaking out when I saw that when like Wong opens the portal and you see like his jail cell. I was flipping out like, oh my god, he's still in the raft. So he still exists. So she can use him as her Hulk character, and then she can figure out the other two members for her team.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought about it. I kind of, it looks like she's recruiting because she was like, hey, I work for this part. But I never even like, try to connect like, hey, you're right. Maybe she's like a Nick Fury for that sector.
Yeah, it's Marvel's like planting the Easter eggs. Like, oh, no, she's not making a team. Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. And the next movie, boom, like it's like the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's kind of like when you saw the first Hulk, Iron Man, and, at the end, you were like, that's when post-credit scenes were kind of like just getting started, and you're like, oh. And then you see it eventually connect. You're like, oh, shit. The one that's going to be coming out is Hawkeye with, what's the girl's name? I forgot her name. Is she called Hawkeye too? No, she's Kate Bishop in the comics. So that's the character she's playing. But later on, she gets the mantle of Hawkeye. So like she kind of Hawkeye pretty much gives her the mantle, and like she joins like a Young Avengers team with like pretty much like pretty much like teenagers like forming their own team, and then she's called Hawkeye in that too. Okay. So I want to make two interesting points then in that case, because now you're saying you brought up the whole she's making her own team, but in WandaVision they introduced her to kids, and they end up becoming Young Avengers at some point, right?
Yeah. Wicked and I forgot her brother, like I think it's like Speed, like something like generic for his power. So they're all I think it's Speed. I could be wrong, but they're also in the Young Avengers team. So it's like her, Wicked, Speed, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and then for Hawkeye for Falcon and Winter Soldier, they introduce the first ever Black Captain America.
Jeremiah.
I know Isaiah. I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Isaiah. He was literally the first Black Captain America, and his grandson. I forgot his last. I'm blanking on his name, but in the comics he becomes Iron 9, some Patriot. becomes Patriot. So he's a member of the Young Avengers team.
Ah, God damn it, Marvel, just fucking setting up things.
That's his name, Isaiah Bradley. I just hit him right now. So Isaiah Bradley's grandson becomes Patriot for the Young Avengers team. So you have you have Patriot, you have Wicked, Speed, Hawkeye, and you have Iron Lad. So he's like another member. And thing about Iron Lad, he's a variant of Kang the Conqueror.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so it's like super crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So there again, like Marvel, and then you have Mrs. Marvel, so she also joins the team too.
Kamala Khan, and then I think there's also a Ironheart show coming out.
Mm-hmm. So they'll probably replace Iron Lad with Ironheart for the Young Avengers team.
With the girl, yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen, or do a miniseries. Have like 10-episode miniseries on Disney Plus, and just called the Young Avengers.
I think at this point, because they integrated Disney Plus, they're just gonna fucking pump out a lot of this show, and I'm all for it. You know, I'm definitely all in it just to watch them, because honestly, they've been pretty good.
Yeah, like me and my girlfriend love WandaVision. We love like the take of it, the different like style that went with it. I know some people are like, oh, I can't get into it. I can't get into the episodes because like the whole like kind of like black and white episodes and like the differentiations. Like no, just watch it through. It makes sense. Watch like the last 2 episodes. It makes sense. Like why is it like kind of like showing like different genres of television?
Yeah, I think what made that show really exciting for me was that I watched it on the per week basis. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people afterwards kind of just waited and just watched the whole thing on the rerun. But I think for me was like I was waiting in between and I was just assuming like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Like it just made me think and like really get into like the thought of what was going on with the show, and you know, it kept me engaged.
I just like the fact people also like thought, oh, it's gonna be Mephisto. Just like pretty like, so if you don't know who Mephisto is pretty much, I guess, the equivalent of the devil in the Marvel universe in the comics. And then people thought, like, oh, it's Mephisto. They're going to talk about Mephisto. And then they're going to have, who else? Like, oh, we're going to bring in mutants and stuff like that, too. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to have, like, the first taste of, like, mutants in this show. And no, not at all. Nothing.
Next thing you know, they're throwing Quicksilver. And you're like, what? The fuck?
And now with, like, the Loki show, I'm, like, you're thinking, like, oh, maybe this is a variant of Quicksilver.
Dude, I'm so excited for this. Honestly, I hope when you get to watch Venom, like, at least you get excited, because I like where it's going. I hope it's Sony, so I hope they don't fuck it up, because they've been known to, you know, they start going good, and they just...
Yeah, it's so weird that you mentioned that, because the whole with the Spider-Man movies, like Sony like just messed that up, because like for like Spider-Man 3, like Venom, Sandman, the Green Goblin, they weren't going to be in the movie. They were going to be someone different. Like Sam Raimi wanted the Vulture in the movie, and he wanted and have a small cameo, have a Mysterio come out as a small cameo. And then there's actual like storyboards you can see. I think you find it like on the internet or YouTube. It shows Mysterio going to jail. Like Spider-Man like beat him up and he goes to jail, and then Mysterio gets knocked over and his helmet comes off, and it's Bruce Campbell as Mysterio.
What the hell?
Because like you notice in the Sam Raimi movies, like he comes out as like different people. He's like the wrestling announcer. They give Spider-Man his name. And he's like the ticket usher that Peter's trying to go to the show, and he's like, "Oh no, you can't go in." And the third one, he's like the French waiter.
Yeah, that, for people who don't know, and if I'm correct, it's the guy from Evil Dead, right?
Yeah, Ash. Yeah. So like all that was gonna pay off as him being Mysterio, and so yeah, Sony's like, "No, we don't like the idea. Scrap it." Boom. Yeah. So and then if you were gonna do a 4th Spider-Man movie, that's what Sam Raimi was gonna use those ideas, put in the Vulture. Put in like Mysterio, just like small hits that have like 3 villains at once. That's what the studio came in and like, oh no, let's do this and do that, and then it didn't work out. So Sam Raimi, oh no, I don't want to do any more movies. And then that's when we had the 2 Andrew Garfield movies. It's Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that's like super crazy there, especially the sequel, because they added Mary Jane Watson. They had like a bunch of scenes with her, and they just cut it. Like, oh no, it doesn't work.
I mean, out of those 2 movies, I prefer the second. I like what's her name? Gwen Stacy dies in the second one, huh? Yeah, the second one. that to me was a fucking really, really great ending. Just it was like human and real and morbid. I was like, holy shit!
And that hit.
It was, yeah. I mean, basically, it was his fault because the fucking ricochet and her head just hit the ground. Like it was like enough height for her head to just fucking. Oh god.
So what's your thoughts on the third Spider-Man coming out?
Oh my god.
You think we're gonna have Tobey? We're gonna have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back as they're both Spider-Man to come into the movie?
I think they have to. Two reasons. One is that's Sony's way of marketing or monetizing the whole multiverse idea, which we've been talking about. It's just, we have 3 different Spider-Mans. Let's bring them all together. Yeah. Let's bring all these villains.
What makes everyone love it? We're gonna love it. We're gonna make money. Mm-hmm. We're gonna sell all the toys and marketing for it. I'm just excited. I just want nice key moments. I want all 3 Spider-Man just to talk about Uncle Ben, because the only mention we get from Uncle Ben from the MCU is the What If episode. When the Spider-Man talks to Hope, because I lost Tony, Happy, my Uncle Ben. That's the only reference we get about Uncle Ben. And then I want them to talk about Uncle Ben. I want to see Uncle Ben tell me this or that, because I'm sure Tobey Spider-Man's gonna be older, and I'm sure he probably lost Aunt May at some point in his timeline in his world. So he goes up and talks to this Peter and hey, is your Aunt May alive? I just want to see her one more time, or I want to talk to her.
Yeah, a very human. Yeah, that's a very human moment.
Yeah, and also some funny moments too, because you have Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. Their Spider-Man have web shooters. They don't have inorganic webbing. I want them to talk about Tom, how's your web shooter works? I use this cartridge and this. Thompson, how do you make yours? Cool. And then have both of them talk to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. What about your web shooters? Web shooters, Mike just come out like this and he shoots.
So gross.
It's an organic weapon. How does it come from? Where does it come out? How do you make it?
Dude, that'd be hilarious.
I just want that interaction. I also want them when they fight, have all 3 of them fight, have cool combo moves and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, because from what the trailer shows, it looks like Green Goblin's coming back. Of course, Doc Ock. Apparently, there was some lightning scene that people are saying it could be Electro, and then another a piece where it looks like fucking lizards coming out from the sewer. I don't know if that's true. I just seen stills and people are how they brighten it up and stuff.
Oh yeah, brighten up and do a whole view, a little breakdown. But I'm excited for Doc Ock and Green Goblin to come back, especially having Willem Dafoe come back as Green Goblin, and then knowing Disney and Marvel, they'll probably update the suit. Make him I'm sure. I just kind of want a mixture of his old suit from the movies and then just modernize it, put some purple in it.
Oh yeah, the classic one.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, no, I think I'm excited for it. I really am. I hope you see Venom 2 soon. I'm trying so hard, but dude, again, that's a Sony property. So with the way things are going, I'm just
because a long time ago, Sony had this giant plan for the Spider-Man universe.
Oh yeah, right.
They had plans to do a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie together. They had plans to do an Aunt May movie, make her a spy back in the in her prime. I'm what? That makes no sense. And they also had a Sinister Six movie in the works. Because I don't know if you've seen the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. You see this dark figure walking through this corridor. You see vulture wings, Doc Ock tentacles and stuff, and then you see the Rhino suit. And then the end, and then the credits roll up. You see silhouettes of the Sinister Six. You see Vulture's wings, Doc Ock's arms, the Rhino suit. You see Kraven's crest on his belt buckle, and I think Green Goblin or Hobgoblin, one of the gliders. So Sony was trying to do their own Sinister Six movie, but obviously it didn't plan out.
Yeah. I mean, dude, honestly, because of all the movies that have been coming out, the anti-hero movies, nowadays, it seems like it pays off and people want to see those stories where you take a villain and you dissect them and you realize, oh shit, he has human, issues with these things in his life that you can see why he's turning out this way, you can kind of empathize with them, and that's trippy. But again, it's that's what I love about it, because the comic book movies are moving towards studying the human involvement and their psychology in these things that they're going through, you know. And they're getting very human.
Yeah, and then also, like, if you guys are like want to get into more, just like go to the comic book stores, buy the comics. Like, they're not that expensive. They're like maybe $4, and you get this amazing artwork on these comic book covers. So just if you love like the movies, just go and pick up a book, read a comic book, and like if you love it, and there you go.
There's a place in Bellflower. It's called Metropolis Comics.
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I found out about it, and this is like my 3rd, 4th time I've been, and I've been buying shirts. I've been getting really into like getting these really cool graphic comic book shirts. And dude, this is one of the places that I go and that I'm like, I love what the collection that they have in terms of comics and just like t-shirts, you know. But the
only gripe I'll talk about that place is like they kind of overprice their figurines, their Marvel Legend figures. I'm just like, everything else is fine. It's just like, just drop a few bucks down on your figures.
You hear that, Metropolis? Put your prices down. They're like, hey, fuck.
I get it. They have to buy it. They're like, they gotta make like profit, but just make it just a few bucks cheaper, you know?
Yeah, I've been also I've been going a lot more to Frankenstein's this year. This year I started. It was one of my first times going, and dude, I love the place. It just makes me feel like a little kid, you know, like walking around. You're like, oh my god, look at this.
Once you open your wallet, I'm like, ooh,
oh yeah,
should I get it? Not get it?
If it's worth it, yeah. I got this. I can't pull it out right now, but I got this. I think it's obviously just a replica. I don't know if the guy hand drew it, but it's like this Japanese art style, like picture of Wolverine, just like you know, he's doing power flexing. Dude, it looks so cool because it looks like it's Japanese art strokes. And I was like, dude, I had to buy it. The print was only like $20 for like, you know,
8.5 by 10.
But dude, I was like, hell yeah, that's a piece of art that I just want to have on there, you know? It's like one of my favorite characters, and he looks fucking legit. Hell yeah. No, so I've been geeking out crazy.
So at some point, you know, Marvel's gonna do an X-Men movie. Would you want Wolverine to be like the same height as Hugh Jackman, or have his comic book height? I think he's like 5'5" or 5'4". Do you want like Wolverine to be that height, or do you want him just a little taller?
Nah, I need him to be a little taller. I'm sorry, because I mean it's cool, but I think at some point there's a certain size where, like, if you get too buff, you just look too short, you know. And so unless they find somebody who has a nice build, but I mean, of course, Hugh Jackman was like 6 something, you know, like 6'2" or something.
Yeah, I think he's about like 6'2".
You know, he'll get ripped and he'll still look like he'll fuck you up, you know. But I think I'll prefer that. But for sure, they have to fucking don that yellow suit. They have to find a way to make him wear that yellow. I think in one of the X-Men movies where he came out, not X-Men, but it was, I guess, like his standalone ones.
It was the Wolverine, but it was a rated cut. It was like the end, pretty much towards the very end of the movie. Him and Yumiko, I think that's the I guess sidekick for him. They gives him a briefcase. He opens a briefcase. It's the brown and gold or brown and yellow suit. I'm like, oh man. And then it's just like, that was a big fuck you to all the fans. Like, you know, this is not gonna happen, so we'll just tease it, and then there you go.
I know, douchebags. I was like, hell yeah, dude. He would have looked, and it looked good enough for him not to look fucking, you know, hilarious with it. Because, you know, in the comic books it looks cool, but I mean, you try to bring it to real life, you gotta make it look good.
So that's why, like in Days of Future Past, when he gives them, like, you see his suit. It looks a little bit, because you have like the little color scheme on his like sleeves, like the blue and like yellow, or a little bit on his sleeves. That was it. But yeah, like I'm hoping like Marvel gives all the X-Men like their costume like outfits, and like make them obviously a little modernized, obviously. But like I want like the blue and gold, or the brown and gold, or even like the X-Force outfit, the black and gray.
Yeah, which I wanted to bring up on the last point before we start wrapping this up, Jose. Like, again, this is not a spoiler on Venom, but at some point or another, like right in the beginning of the movie, they kind of start showing that there's like mutants. So like that to me was just like it's not like it doesn't ruin the movie.
Are you talking about like Shriek?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, what the hell? That's it's interesting because now they're kind of establishing that there's people that can have powers in this Sony universe. And of course, you know, they already said they're working on Fantastic Four, at least MCU, Marvel is. Like, I don't know how they're going to do that. Either they're going to have to bring realities or find a way to associate that.
That's what's going on, because like that's what you can like, explain easily. Oh, the multiverse. Like, it's like different things, different variants.
Mm-hmm.
Like a timeline with the Fantastic Four does exist, and they're like, let's say from the 60s. They're like from the 60s version of the Fantastic Four. They somehow get into our universe, or they just welded in together, or the X-Men or the mutants do exist, but they're hiding in the shadows. They work in they work like through the shadows. Like, you hear these events going, like they can do this. They can have like, you know, have the Daily Bugle, have different news articles, whatever, like pin the board, or you have like Joan Jameson's office having these like gigantic news clippings like you did in the movies, like, oh, like this and this, like disaster in like Uganda, like solved, and it's like storm like bringing water to like this dry country, Uganda, or stuff like that. You know, like, or like a what is it? Like a building fall off, but no one got hurt. Like, everyone was saved. It's like, oh, it's the X-Men. It's them like working in the shadows.
Dude, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, and like as soon as they announce, I'm gonna fucking scream like a little girl, and I'm gonna tell you, Jose, they fucking announced it.
I know we've been talking about Marvel, but like also DC has a lot of stuff in the works. Like, I'm super excited for. I'm excited for the Batman.
Oh fuck yeah! That shit looks cool, dude.
Like, they had like screenings for this movie for like people that work in the film industry. But it was like, they said like it's a 3-hour movie, and it's perfect. No one complained about it, and it's like pretty much a horror movie in the Batman like universe. Like, that's perfect. Like, someone described the scene of the movie. It's like, it's Batman walking down Gotham, and Gotham is engulfed in flames. Not only that, then you have the Flash movie. You have Michael Keaton coming back as Batman.
Oh shit, you're right, yeah.
We're gonna have 2 Batman, and we're gonna have like just bananas. We have a Supergirl in this movie. You know, she's gonna be in it, and like just craziness. And then you have like Shazam coming up, and you have Black Adam with The Rock, and then introducing more iconic characters. Like, you have like Hawkman, you have like Atom Smasher, and you have Dr. Fate, which I'm super excited for. Like, finally, DC is gonna do more mystic, more magic into their movies. You know, it's just awesome. And then Aquaman 2 is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a little hard for me to get into DC just because I don't know why. I just feel like they're good movies. No. People are gonna hear this and you're gonna be like, this guy's a Marvel fanboy. No, I love DC too.
I just think because like it's just the studios just like interfering so much with these DC films. Like, look what Zack Snyder, like when he had that the thing like the emergency with his daughter when she passed away. Like, he like, oh, I gotta leave the project, and then Warner Bros. Like, oh, we'll just fire him and get Joss Whedon. And like whatever Zack Snyder was doing, like, oh, we'll just reset everything. Let Joss Whedon do it, take it over. And then once like Zack Snyder, oh no, I want to do my own movie. And then Warner Bros. Like, oh no, we're not gonna do it. And you have like fans and HBO coming in. They're like, you know what? Here's the money. Go finish your movie. And then once you finish the movie, he put it 4 hours, and it works. It was good.
Yeah, it's kind of similar when people. I at least thought the whole Batman versus Superman. I know people hate it. I know some love it. I was the one who always kind of liked it from the beginning, but when I saw the director's cut of it, dude, that movie got even better, like fucking tenfold.
Like Cyborg was like amazing, and the director's character building, awesome character, especially with like him interacting with like the computer systems all over the world, like his father talking about, you're the most dangerous being on the entire planet. You can literally change things or destroy things, and then that amazing moment where like that mother and child, like the mom's trying to take money out of the ATM, and she has like maybe like $20 in her account, and you see Cyborg just like going through her account, seeing like the $20 bill, and just expanding it and just give it to her, and then that's perfect character moment there.
Yeah, dude, it was a good movie. Because it's long, but dude, it's about sitting down, seeing these characters again develop in that reality that we're able to sit down and watch. and just going for the ride, you know, and take a few breaks in between, go to the bathroom, but like watch it all the way, you know.
And he introduced Martian Manhunter. I was just flipping out. This close game, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern in that movie too.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god. See, Warner Brothers, like, Wardy, stop. Just let them do what they gotta do. And you did it with James Gunn when he did Suicide Squad.
that movie was great. That movie was really good. Yeah, I think. The whole thing that they are allowing certain characters to go like full rated R, it gives you so much more to work with. Of course, because you got limitations from some, you know, rating company who's like, hey, make sure it's safe for the kids. Like, nope, the kids want to see the good stuff, man. They want to see the good stuff. Just keep it real.
So I have hope for DC. You know, they'll wait till Batman comes out, and then it's gonna be amazing, and then all the other projects coming up. So just give DC a chance, and not only that, like they have like a bunch of stuff going on for HBO Max. They're doing TV shows. They're doing a Gotham show based on the Batman movie, and they have like the Teen Titans or the Titans show, and like there's other stuff, and then Doom Patrol. Like it's like,
oh, that one's really good.
Me and my girlfriend love that show. Like I got her into it, and I'm like, all right. And then you have Brendan Fraser in that show. Like, how can you not love Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, I know. I know I hadn't seen him in a while, so when I heard that's the only reason I started watching Doom Patrol, because I was like, oh shit, Brendan Fraser, Mummy movies, George of the Jungle, back in the like early 2000s. Yeah, man. But Jose, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, man. Like, it was nice to, you know, bounce ideas and kind of just, you know, get all this extra energy that I've been just watching stuff and get it out of me. But dude, thank you so much, and hopefully, you know, once everything that we've talked about that's coming in the future, we'll have another one of these and catch up, see where we find ourselves then as well, you know?
Yeah, let's hope the Eternals, because I'm sure there's going to be like world building there from the Eternals. We'll get cosmic beings. We'll learn more about the what are they called? I'm drawing a blank.
Celestials?
No. Celestial. Is it Celestials? No, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, God damn it. I hate when that happens. Oh, God. I think they're called Celestials. I could be wrong, you guys.
It's cool. People know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they know what's up. They're just those giant monsters out there that create the universe.
There you go. Where can people find you, Jose?
You can find me on like Instagram, Twitter. It's Dinobot90. That's my personal account. But I also work for a website called Temple of Geek. So you guys can also follow Temple of Geek on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I also do a toy channel for them. So it's Temple Geek Toychest. There I talk about toys and all this crazy stuff. So I do toy reviews or post cool toy news and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys can find me there as well.
Sick. Awesome, man. Again, thank you so much for taking the time, and we'll catch up in a few months.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. I can't wait to do this again.
Have a good night, Jose.
You too.
Take care, man. See ya.